Banger after banger.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes, man, and it's Tuesday, so it's time for that good old NXT. And what a controversial episode of NXT it is, man. It started off with the big Chase U scandal. Now, we have no idea what this scandal is. We have no idea what Andre Chase is involved in. Apparently, there's an investigation going on with Chase U. Who knows what kind of shenanigans old Andre Chase has going on? Who knows what he has going on behind the scenes of this illustrious university known as Chase U. It started off with Chase U, walking up to the NXT arena, and they're being hounded by TMZ and investigators and reporters and everything. And Andre Chase looks like shit. He hasn't slept in God knows how long. JC Jane, she's got her hoodie on. She's looking real inconspicuous. And it's not looking too good for Chase U. Even in their tag team match against the D'Angelo family, the student section wasn't really feeling Andre Chase. They were booing Chase U. You even had several of the students walk out during the match. I couldn't believe my eyes, man. It wasn't a good look. And unfortunately for the university, the bad things continue to happen, because not only have they lost the faith of the university, not only have they lost the faith of the students, they also lost the NXT Tag Team Championships. That's right, the D'Angelo family are now officially two-time Tag Team Champions. Stax and Tony D won the Tag Team Championships. Dang, Andre Chase. Who knows what the results of this investigation are gonna show? Whoever knows what JC Jane saw in that envelope last week? There's so many questions. We have more questions than we have answers. Who knows, man? Who knows what's going on with Chase U? But one thing we do know is we have the Metaphor, we have a Supernova session, and we also have the Alpha Academy. And this was pretty much a setup for the Heritage Cup Championship match next week between Noam Dar and Chad Gable. And it was funny. This segment was pretty funny because you had Otis, trying to dirty Mac on Lash Legend. That didn't really work out too well. Lash Legend looked disgusted. Jakara Jackson looked disgusted. Noam Dar looked like he was about to throw up. And he was ultimately finessed into, accepting Chad Gable's challenge next week for the Heritage Cup. So, that should be a fun match. And this led into our first of the Iron Survivor qualifying matches. And the first match was between Lash Legend and Roxanne Perez. And listen, man, Roxanne, she's probably one of the best wrestlers in the women's roster. And Lash Legend, she's entertaining with the Metaphor. She's still growing and improving and developmenting. That's the whole point of NXT, is of a developmental brand. But for what it was worth, it wasn't that bad of a match. And surprisingly, due to help from Kiana James, Lash Legend actually beat Roxanne Perez, and she's gonna be in the Iron Survivor match. So. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, Roxanne Perez to get the win. But, this is kind of furthering that feud between Roxanne and Kiana James, So, hey, man, good for Lash Legend, man. She gets the chance, to compete at Deadline, and then possibly be the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. So, hey, we'll see. So after this, we had a backstage segment with the tag team division. You got a whole bunch of guys who are hopefully trying to become the new number one contenders to face the D'Angelo family, and mostly it was Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, and they were facing off against Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, and he had the other guys there as well. But the D'Angelo family pulled up, and they say, and they're pretty much jaw jacking with Umberto and Angel, and I'm pretty sure that's who's going to be the new number contenders for the tag team championships. So that should be a pretty solid match. And then they had a little scuffle. They were squabbling a little bit, the whole tag team guys, you know. So. But next week it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be like a celebration for the D'Angelo family. And there was also this new girl with Tony and Stacks. I don't know who she is. I don't know what her name is, but you know she's very Italian. She's like, hey, how you doing? And she's fitting right in with the family. So you know, there's that. So after this, we had Lyra Valkyria. She's in the back. She's watching footage of Xia Li, and ironically, Xia Li next week is going to be facing Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw. And then next week on NXT, she is going to be facing off against Lyra Valkyria. I think it's going to be for the NXT Championship. Now, as far as this week goes, we had a, what was it called? A royal tea. It's like a traditional Chinese, you know, I forget how Xia Li described it, but she said it was like tradition as far as her culture goes, and it's pretty much, you know, a sign of respect before, you know, you face off against your ops and, you know, combat or whatever. So Xia Li is preparing the tea. She's explaining the royalty and everything, and Lyra, she's kind of being very standoffish. She's like, nah, I ain't feeling none of this. I ain't feeling the respect, because I know you're not showing me any respect, you know, because you're knocking out all these women on Monday Night Raw. You're going to try to knock out Becky Lynch. And Xia Li's like, nah, man. You know, it's all business. I'm just trying to show you respect before I whoop your ass next week and take your title. So, you know, a lot of people weren't really feeling the segment, the T segment between Xia Li and Lyra Valkyria. And I can understand why, you know. It was what it was, you know. It got the point across, you know. Someone said it looked like a Mortal Kombat cutscene. I'm not going to disagree with you. But next week, it will be Lyra Valkyria defending her NXT Women's Championship against Xia Li. So, yeah. Alright, so we got more cinema. We got more drama. We got more drama between Trick Mellow Gang. Now, as far as this week goes, you know, everything on surface seems to be okay between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They kind of get into the whole fact that, you know, Trick accidentally punched Mello last week. And Trick seemed very apologetic about it. He said it was an accident. He was going after, what was it, Brian Pillman Jr., but he accidentally hit Carmelo in the face. And Carmelo, he's still looking very, you know, shady, looking very sus. Like, I still think he's the one who attacked Trick. If he's not the one who attacked him, I'm pretty sure he knows something about, he knows something about it. There's something very guilty about the way Carmelo Hayes is acting. So this leads to their Iron Survivor match. Trick Williams taking on Joe Coffey, and the crowd is very much behind Trick Williams. I could give less than a damn about Gallus. I don't give a damn about Joe Coffey, and I'm so glad Trick Williams ended up getting the win. Even though it was looking like, you know, Carmelo Hayes, he was doing some underhanded, you know, shady stuff. There was one part where one of the Gallus boys, they were on the ring apron, and, you know, Carmelo had him by the foot. And it looked like Trick was going to go after him. But Carmelo seemingly timed this perfectly, pulled one of the Gallus boys off the apron. And Trick took a tumble to the outside. So, you know, it's like, Carmelo, did you do that on purpose, or were you trying to hold Trick, you know? Anyway, Trick Williams ended up getting the win. There's a graphic showing the Iron Survivor challengers on the Titantron. And as Trick is celebrating, you know, Carmelo's looking at the screen. It's like, yo, what are you looking at, man? Celebrate with your boy, man. I don't trust Carmelo. Carmelo is one of my favorite wrestlers, but I do not trust this man. I think he's going to turn heel very soon. He's going to, you know, reveal his true intentions with Trick Williams. So after this, we had a backstage segment with Braun Breaker and Dijak. And Braun Breaker, you know, he's talking about how great he is and how badass he is. And Dijak, he pulls up and he's saying that, look, man, you may be able to beat everybody, you scare everybody and break everybody, but you can't break old Dijak. And Braun's like, listen, you don't want no part of this, son. You don't even want me in the Iron Survivor Challenge. And Dijak's like, yes, I do. I'm one of the main people who wants you in there because I know you can't break me. It's like and Braun Breaker said, man, you better hope I'm not in there, because if I am, you're going to be begging for retribution. Oh, it's a callback to that trash ass group Retribution. Oh my goodness. So yeah, man, maybe Braun Breaker might be And the Iron Survivor Challenge, who knows, man? But Retribution, that was a horrible group. That was a very dark time for the WWE Universe. I saw it with my own 4 eyes, man. Ugly. It was ugly what they did. So after this, we had a pretty fun tag team match between the Brawling Brutes and OTM. But the Brawling Brutes ended up getting the win. But I don't mind OTM. I like the presentation. Even with old Scripps, aka Reggie, I know he's been, he's about that life in real life, but my whole issue is the whole presentation of Reggie, aka Scripps. He started off as a sommelier, then he was like lusting after Sasha Banks, and then he had this whole thing with Nia Jax, and then he comes in the NXT and he's wearing a lucha mask. He's looking like Penta El Zero Negro, and now he's supposed to be like a gang leader or whatever. So it's like, I know like he's really about it in real life, but it's just a presentation. But OTM, I don't mind them at all. The Brawling Brutes ended up getting the win, so cool, good for them, good for the streets of England or whatever the fuck they're from. Joe Gacy killed himself, I think. I don't think he did. Some people say he just threw the camera off the top of the roof. He was on top of the PC. He's giving another one of these cryptic messages. He's giving a speech or whatever, and he's saying words, and none of it makes sense. And it looked like he jumped off the roof of the PC, but in reality, it was the camera he threw off the top of the building. And even Vic Joseph was like, "Yo, can somebody go and check on that man? Like, someone do a wellness check on this dude, because he's saying a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense." So yeah, pray for Joe Gacy. He's going through it, man. So early in the night, we had a backstage segment with all the women, and it was mostly Ariana Grace talking to what's her name? The lady that beat her up last week. She has a funny last name, but as they're talking, Gigi pulls up and she's like, "Yo, you really need to shut the hell up." And Ariana Grace says, "You're not educated, you're dumb, you're ugly, you got a nice booty or whatever, but good for you." So this leads to the match between them later in the night. And I gotta say, the more I see of Ariana Grace, the more I'm entertained by her. She's very entertaining, she's very funny, she's very much involved in this Miss NXT pageant gimmick or whatever. She's like saying motivational speeches and inspirational words and whatnot, and the crowd really likes her. It's like they're really behind her. But Gigi Dolan ended up getting the win. There was one point where Ariana Grace, the referee said she had the foot on the ropes to be able to cheat. I feel like she has very long legs, and she was stretching, and her legs just happened to touch the bottom rope, and possibly gave her leverage. But tomato, whatever it is, what it is. Gigi Dolan it ended up getting the win. So even in defeat, Ariana Grace, she had her crown and her sash, and she's waving to the NXT universe. Entertaining stuff. Speaking of entertaining stuff, we have the continued power of friendship between Von Wagner and Mr. Stone. They did a little recap of their history, how they started off at the PC at the same time, and they became allies and friends and blah blah blah. The power of friendship prevails once again. So there's that. And then after this, we had a backstage segment with Eddie Thorpe, who's been missing since 1996. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in the qualifying match, and I think it's gonna be between him and what's his name, William Regal, something, Charlie Dempsey next week. So there's that. But ultimately, this leads us to the main event. And the funny thing is, throughout the show, you have Dominic Mysterio talking to Baron Corbin. You even had that weird ass Lexis King talking to Baron Corbin. And then you also had Ilya Dragunov talking to Wesley. So this sets up the main event between Wesley and Baron Corbin. And it was fine. It was fine for what it was worth. Wesley, this is like his first time wrestling in a few months. He took his little hiatus. He took his time off. But he's back in the mix, man. He's back with wrestling Baron Corbin. And I gotta say, man, ever since Baron Corbin's been at NXT, it's been a good look for him. He's not wrestling in bike shorts anymore. He's not wrestling. He's not looking like a bootleg basketball player anymore. So good for him. He's looking like Baron Corbin, the old Baron Corbin of the old NXT. And he ended up getting the win due to outside interference from old dirty Dominic Mysterio. After the match, Ilya Dragunov comes out and he tries to put the beat down on Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin hits him with the End of Days. Then after that, Ilya Dragunov gets on the mic and says, "Listen, man, you want to fight so bad. You want to fight chance at the championship. At deadline, it's on Dragunov, Baron Corbin, NXT championship." And Dragunov is one of those wrestlers that can pull anybody into having a good match. So I have no doubt in my mind that Dragunov versus Corbin should be some entertaining graps. Should be an entertaining match, Pretty sure Dragunov's going to win, but we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But, once again, NXT, entertaining all around, man. A lot of setup for the Iron Survivor Challenge. The I keep calling it Deadline pay-per-view premium live event. So you already know NXT gets the honorary W. Fun stuff, man. Let me know in the comment section below. What did you think about this week's episode of NXT? Do you think Carmelo Hayes is guilty? Do you think Joe Gacy is gonna kill himself for real? I don't know. What do you think the big controversy is between Andre Chase and Chase U? What's going on with his university? Sad times indeed. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.